Welcome to everyone, and thank you for turning out on this delightful day. Let's see if they manage to get the game on today, eh? Be interesting. Okay, if you've seen an agenda, basically what we're trying to do is get some of the agenda items done first, and then we will finish with the question and answer session that Tim Fielding's going to host for us. It's been yet another eventful week for Blackpool fans, and I know that I'm sure you'll have lots of questions and there's lots to talk about. So we'll go through the other agenda items first, and then we'll finish with the Q&A, and then we know how much time we've got. Okay, so I'm going to hand to Steve first of all for the first item.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, everybody. So, we always open this up for members to suggest things they'd like on the agenda at an open meeting. We had two this time. The first one was about Jimmy Armfield, understandably, and the request was that we should discuss, as a trust, ways that we would like to commemorate him, because he was such a fantastic servant to the club and the town. And a couple of suggestions have come forward in that email from one of our members. One was that we should try and put in place an annual Jimmy Armfield Day. Another one was that we should hold some kind of commemorative dinner, maybe around 12th, 13th of May, because 13th of May, I think, was the anniversary of his first turnout for the England team, so that would be appropriate. We've had other suggestions that we should have some kind of match to commemorate him at some point, and that we should get a great big flag, pretty much like Big Bertha or the one we did for Brett. So I just want to throw it open to see that you will be happy for us to do something along those along those lines for Jimmy, or anything else. And I should mention that as a committee we discussed this the other day. Can you hear me okay anyway? Hello? We did discuss this as a committee, and we are making kind of private contact with Jimmy's family to find out the sort of things they would be happy with us doing. So just bearing that in mind, I'll throw it open for suggestions or comments from the floor.
Two obvious ones. There are dinner, aren't they?
Yep.
And a memorial match. We've obviously done Brett before, so we know we've got a bit of an idea what we're doing.
Yep.
So we can always look at those two, I think. Obviously away from, at the moment, away from Bloomfield Road, hopefully not too much longer, but they're the ones that stick out for me.
Okay, thanks Tim. Any other suggestions?
Yeah. Maybe just rather than, as well as a one-off, maybe setting something up so in the future there could be an award for, say, youth team player of the year that this trust could support the vote for, or team player of the year, award, the Armfield Award.
The Armfield Award, like it, yeah, very good. Thank you.
Then it's year on year, rather than just a one-off. Yeah.
Any more? Don't mean to turn it into a brainstorm. So if you've got ideas,
maybe a 627 club, 627 members doing a variety of things to raise money for the hospice.
Okay. Think about that. If you've got any other ideas, just email them through to the secretary at blackpoolsupporterstrust.com. We'll take them all on board and we'll figure out what might be possible. Thanks for that.
Thank you for that. Upcoming BST social events, we should have a little bit of fun along the way. I know we don't get much fun because we've no team to support much at the moment, but anyway. On the 23rd of February, Friday the 23rd, we have got a race night at the Hilton in Blackpool. Tickets are £5, and that includes a bacon butty or a sausage butty, whatever you like. Tickets are available today. Say only £5, so please do support it if you can. We're going to share the profits with Trinity Hospice and with the Boathouse Youth, which is a charity that's based here in the Bloomfield ward, so very important. Other ideas we've got is we want to do our annual golf day again. It was good fun last year and it went down very well, but we'd like to have more people involved. We're possibly looking at doing this in May rather than in August, but we're still working on that. So again, that's just something else to watch out for. While we're on this sort of subject, we've also got a few Jimmy Armfield scarves here if anybody would like to purchase one now. We have got some more coming, and that's on Tuesday, I think, isn't it, Tony? Tony's going to be taking them to Wigan if anybody's going to Wigan away, so we will have more coming in. And we've also got some nice BST badges. I'm wearing two. There's the ordinary BST badge, which is £3. Now, if you are a lifetime member of BST, we've got some lifetime badges, and they are free to you if you are already a lifetime member. So again, please come and collect your lifetime badge. I think that's it. Okay. So we'll move on to item number 3, which is about our governance initiatives. Andy's going to start this off. So.
Cheers, Christine. I'll pass back to Christine so you can cover the Sega trip to Italy. So, good afternoon, everybody. Just to bring you up to speed, there's a lot going on, as there always is, so I'll try and give you sort of an abridged version of things. Just in terms of, to set the context for the overall governance initiatives that we're doing. Don't know if you remember, I think the penultimate meeting we had, we talked a little bit about Damien Collins from the DCMS, who stood up in the Houses of Parliament in February and gave a rebel-rousing speech, the early day motion. And so it was a case of, come the end of the spring, it was a case of FA's got to reform or we're going to reform you. So it was quite a sort of a militant thing for a Tory MP to do that. It was quite unusual, really. But the bad thing that happened, as we all know, Theresa May called an election. So what that meant was that the DCMS, the Department of Culture, Media and Sport, was dissolved. And so it's only been reformulated and put back together September, October time. So they've only just sat once again. So everything's been quiet for 6 or 8 months. The Fans Not Numbers initiative, which is quite an important thing for us, our contact with Damien Collins is Jamie Fuller, the guy who's the chairman of Skins. Now, he's met with Damien Collins, and he seems to think that Damien Collins has had a bit of a hand on his shoulder from the Tory party, saying, it's great what you're doing, you've got a big future here with us, so don't be upsetting the apple cart too much with all this reform. You remember, the EFL is a private company, it's a private limited company, so there's nervousness about government getting involved in private businesses. So his ardour has sort of, or his appetite has waned somewhat, according to Jamie. So Jamie's had a meeting with him, and I know it's a bit of, we're sort of grassroots organisation in terms of what we do, but this is like the inside track, because we need friends on the other side of the wall that are going to help us here, obviously, don't we? As well as all us pushing hard. So the upshot of this is we've got a meeting down in London, BST, Jamie Fuller, and an organisation called Res Publica to talk about all this on Tuesday, because there's other people elsewhere within the Westminster establishment that they might be able to link us into to help with this. Because we're sort of forming the opinion that it's great doing everything that we're doing. I'll come on to the petition and all the EFL stuff and the protest stuff. It's great doing that, but we do need people, you know, within Whitehall or within government that are going to be friends of ours, that are going to assist us. Where if we can create all the sort of hubbub that we're going to do, but we need people on the other side that are going to help. So, moving quickly on to the petition, we sent out a newsletter about this. There was 4 bits of communication in there. There was a letter which was sent to Ian Lenigan, the CEO of the EFL, by Christine on behalf of BST. There was their response which came back, which was a non-response, really, a typical bureaucratic thing. You know, they don't answer any questions, we're feeding it into our process. So we then fired back a very sort of spiky response saying, we've lost total faith in you, we've had countless meetings, not countless, but numerous meetings with them, they've shown no appetite to do anything. And if after what's happened at Bloomfield Road with Blackpool FC, and you've had a High Court judge saying they've asset stripped the club, they've done basically everything the fans have been telling you for 2 years, and you're not willing to act, where are we supposed to go? Because you're meant to be the governing body along with the FA. So we've fired that back and we've sent through a case study review model, which you might have looked at. This is what we suggest that you do. Rather than give them a chance to come back with something, this is what we think you should do. And if you don't do it, we're going over your heads. We're going to government to try and create some change, because we've got no faith that you'll do it yourselves. So our petition, what we're hoping to do is get above 100,000 signatures. We had a meeting yesterday, 2 reps from BST, Ray and Christine, with Gordon Marsden. He told us we're doing the right thing going down the government.co.uk site and not the change.org site. We're going down the right one. In terms of the phraseology, they rejected the first pass that we put through because it wasn't specific enough as far as we understand. So we've resubmitted. Chris Rees put it back up online, I think on Sunday evening. It's been great throughout this process. So hopefully later this week it'll go live. We hope so. So in terms of where we are with things, other actions that are sort of going on, all the communications continuing with the various MPs, we're doing all that good stuff. We're trying to get Christian Matheson, and he's the MP for City of Chester. He's a big Evertonian, he's a Labour MP, he's a friend of Dave Kelly's, the guy who is the chairman of the North West FSF, so we're trying to get him to come to a public meeting so he can talk. So the DCMS, for those of you who don't know, I'm sorry I'm talking in all these acronyms, Department of Culture, Media and Sport, that's a select committee. And that's drawn from all the 500 to 600 MPs in the House of Commons. It's cross-party, and they talk about these issues. So they're the people we need to convince, and he's one of that 12. So he's in that, you know, powerful small group. So if we can get him to a meeting here or to an FSF one, that would be tremendous, really. So we're working hard on that, and I think that's sort of where we are. There's all the kinds of little anecdotal things. We'll send out a bit of a report of what the meeting delivered yesterday with Gordon Marsden to keep everybody posted. We're going to carry on meeting regularly with all the MPs. If any of you members are keen to get involved, we've got Phil Drabble and a couple of others are actively involved who aren't committee members. If you want to come along to meet your MP or whatever you think you've got something you want to say, we're keen for you to come along with us, you know, because it's an open, democratic, accountable group. So we'll find that out soon, and we'll just keep you posted on anything. But believe we're working 24/7 on this. It's taking a hell of a lot of time, all this, but you know, if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for us. Because what I was saying, I chatted to some lads from the other supporters trust. This 2 years we've been everywhere. We've been to all the political parties, all the MPs, all the pressure groups, the Libel Reform Group, Liberty. All of them pay lip service. None of them have done anything for us, really. They've never really helped us. The only people I think that have helped us have been the FSF, SD, and like the Everton Liverpool fans that turn up at court cases and come and march with us. They're the only people that have shown us, so we're going to have to do it ourselves, really, as much as we can. And we're going to carry on doing that, because we've not got a reverse gear in Blackpool, have we? We're only going one way, and they're going, and we're rising. So I'll just leave you with that thought. Yeah?
Can I encourage everybody to read a lot of the stuff that we put out, because I know sometimes it's like, oh, great long letters and things, but there's a lot of detail in there, and I'm sure that if you take the time to read it, you will find it interesting. And you know, what's happened to us as a group of supporters and what's happened to our club, we know is appalling. We've got to have something positive coming out of this, and we certainly believe that the steps we're taking now to bring the change that's needed to the game is going to make a difference, not just to us, but to every football club. So.
Yeah, and if you've missed some of the communications, we're in the process of putting a governance section up on the BST website. So all these documents will go up there, they'll be in the public domain, and we'll tell everybody else around the world to go there and look to see what's happening. That's journalists, anybody who's interested in researching it, it'll all be out there for them to look through.
So as part of our continued effort to get out there and to get our story out there, but also to make friends amongst the authorities who can actually help us in our quest to bring change. Most of you perhaps know that last week I was invited to go to a conference in Rome. This conference was set up by SIGA, which is the Sport Integrity Global Alliance. This is an alliance from literally around the world, different sports. It's not just football, but obviously football is one of the biggest sports involved. And this was set up in 2015 to acknowledge that there is so much corruption in sport, that there are so many problems with governance of sport, something needs to be done. This organisation has got many people involved. It's got government bodies, it's got sporting authorities, it's got big business. What it didn't have was supporters. After the Fans Not Numbers launch last year, that's when they heard, or somebody from SIGA heard about Blackpool, and it heard about the Supporters Trust, and it heard about the boycott, and was very, very impressed with what we have done. So we were contacted, and ultimately, through that contact, I was asked to go and speak on behalf of everybody, representing Blackpool Supporters Trust. I was very proud to do so because, you know, when I got there were so many people from FIFA, UEFA, the Olympic Committee, La Liga, all sorts of people, and the only football club that was represented was Blackpool. So that was fantastic, and yes, it's a feather in all of our caps. but it's also meant that I was able to speak to the conference, to a panel that had people from representatives from FIFA and UEFA, and managed to get them to agree publicly that supporters need to be involved in the reforms that are required in governance. They were very, very impressed with the story and with what we've done. I think a lot of people who didn't know about Blackpool and didn't know about our struggles, they certainly do now, they were very, very surprised and staggered really at what's gone on. The lady from FIFA said, "That's incredible, you must not give up in what you're doing." I said, "There's no way we'll be giving up." It was quite a day. The day opened actually with them telling us that that His Holiness had sent a message, and I looked everywhere for Marcus Smith, but I couldn't see him. So it was the Pope, and it really was. He'd sent his envoy to welcome us. So this organisation really does have some kudos. It's got some big hitters involved. I think the more supporters are involved in it, the better, because there is a danger that it could turn into a bit of a talking shop, and they need action. But they were certainly very impressed with what Blackpool have been doing and what the Supporters Trust has been doing. So, you know, it's something, a good organisation to be involved with, and I do think moving forward they will help us and back us certainly in our efforts to reform the EFL. So it was, in my opinion, I know I was the one that went, but it was worth it. It was a good day, and we've got some good friends there now. So, thank you. Yes, we are actually the first Supporters Trust to become accredited supporter with them. So you know, that's fantastic, because however many others get involved, and Supporters Direct are now getting involved, but we've blazed a trail there. So that's something to very much to be proud of. Okay. Any questions from anybody on governance or what we're doing or what you can do? Just watch out for that petition as soon as it goes live, because that is absolutely vital that we get the 100,000 signatures. Anybody? Okay.